Hello and welcome to episode 37 of the Crushing Through Life podcast with your hosts, Rob and Jim. This is a show of two friends improving our lives through fitness, career, and relationships, goals, and daily challenges. If you like what you hear, check out all of our links at linktree.com/crushing through life and drop us a line. Today is November 3rd, 2021. And as always, let's begin with today's quote. Today's quote is, "It's harder to stay on top than it is to make the climb. Continue to seek new goals." And that quote comes from Pat Summitt, who I just learned who Pat Summitt is today. She's actually one of the greatest women's basketball coach of all time. Pat Summitt was an American women's college basketball head coach who accrued 1,098 career wins, the most in college basketball history at the time of her retirement. She served as the head coach of the University of Tennessee Lady Boys basketball team in 1974 to 2012. Summitt was inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 1999 as a member of its inaugural class. She was named the Naismith Basketball Coach of the Century in 2000 and 2009. The Sporting News placed her at number 11 on its list of the 50 greatest coaches of all time in all sports. Wow. That's crazy.
I also just looked it up. I don't know if this changed, but how many games are there in women's NCAA basketball per season? And it says teams can schedule 23 regular season games and participate in one multiple team event. 23 in a season, and she has 1,100
That's
wins.
crazy.
I mean, maybe it was more, but like, plus if you go, usually like, the March Madness tournament, which if we dug deeper into her career, she must have, had a couple of deep runs, but I think you got to win 7 games to win that. So like, obviously that's a ton, right? Every year if you're adding, but that's still only, even if you won that every year and you won all your games, that's 30 wins a season.
That's a lot.
Coach for a long time.
And even on that list, she was actually the only woman on that list, the 50 greatest coaches of all time in all sports. She's the only woman.
Oh, wow.
In 2012, Summitt was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Barack Obama and received the Arthur Ashe Courage Award at the 2012 ESPY Awards. In 2013, she was inducted into the FIBA Hall of Fame. So very, very accredited. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. I didn't know Arthur Ashe had his own award after him, because it's Arthur
I don't even know who that
is.
So if you could fill me in.
He is a American tennis player. Really good. And they named, so like their center court at the US Open. So like I think it's still to this day is the biggest tennis court in the world. It's called Arthur Ashe Stadium.
That's
or maybe
awesome.
Arthur Ashe Arena. I'm not sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I didn't, but that's it. Like that would be a pretty prestigious award if he did have that after him, because he's pretty well known in like a
very
sporting
cool,
community.
Man. Yeah, I mean, for our audience, I rely heavily on Jim for sporting information. I'm not that huge into sports as Jim is.
Yeah, I know some useless stuff. I'm like, maybe not in this, but like, yeah, it's like a random tennis
that's
fact.
great, man. That's awesome that you know that stuff.
I can lace them in here. So what's new? We missed last week. I apologize. Things were a little hectic. Jess was away last week. Actually,
where was she?
She had to go to Seattle. She met her team that she's been working with now for since April of 2020. She finally met them in person. They did something called whirly ball.
What was that?
Which is where you have like a scoop and a ball, and you can like pass it between teammates, but you're in bumper cars while you do it. And the end goal is like both teams have a net that's probably like 9 or 10 feet off the ground, and you got to get the whirly ball, I guess.
A nice team building exercise.
She sent me she couldn't do it actually because she's pregnant. So she got to just sit there on the side and film it. it kind of looks like it could be a lot of fun, but also very frustrating because it's bumper cars. So once you're sort of like bumping into someone, no one's moving, and then that's it. So like, I'm not sure how the whole thing. I might just watch a YouTube video later and be like,
professional whirly ball. Interesting. But how was her trip? Other than that?
It was great actually. She, it's kind of curious how it would be crossing the border with all the COVID restrictions and making sure she did it right and all that stuff.
Was this her first flight out of the country as the start of the
first
pandemic?
Time since our honeymoon in 2019, just first time. So you have to get your negative test 72 hours before your flight. And her flight was from Toronto to Vancouver and then Vancouver to the United States. Now, she thought she was going to get tested right away. Like they should have to show that right away. But I guess in Canada, they don't care. So you can just fly across. And she didn't realize that her test was actually like coming close to the deadline because she flew 5 hours. Like the time difference is 3 hours, right? So like by the time she got there and got on the flight for the Seattle one, she was actually kind of getting nervous. That like, oh, they might not let me on, and I already flown 5 hours to get to Vancouver. But she said they just looked at 4 o'clock and pictured that was 4 p.m. PST, so it didn't even matter. But overall, she said it was pretty cool. She found a Harrison Street in Seattle, which was nice. And the maid of honor from our wedding, like her best friend, one of actually works for Amazon now and just moved out there in. I want to say they packed up in September and they've only been there like, 5 weeks or something, but she got to see her and take her out, kind of show her around some places. And I think just meeting your team in person is a huge thing. Like you said, for bonding, like, whether through an activity like that or just a dinner, is pretty big. Just, she said she gets to see people's feet for the first time. And I asked for a big scouting report on, if the feet matched.
I'm sorry, people's feet?
Yeah. Well, like she's only ever seen them on video. It was just a bad joke.
All right. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, so she's never seen below whatever they show on. So it's like, it was interesting, I guess, to like see her whole team and in person and have some cool like some site visits. A little bit of what she would be doing out there. But I think that might be the last time she gets on a plane until who knows when. So. Kind of interesting in itself.
Yeah, that's awesome. Of course, she started this new position remotely from where you live in Canada, and her team's in the States in Seattle, right? So wild to be meeting your team for the first time, but it's also so wild to actually, go through the whole experience of getting a negative COVID test, going back on a plane, be out in the public again, going to a different country. Like that's a lot to take in, especially someone who's pregnant. Like, kudos to Jess for doing that, and I'm sure it was a great positive experience, and it is what it is. But
yeah, I think most times companies do like let's say a retreat.
Right.
In this case, it's a retreat to the home office, but when they do something like that, everyone comes away for the most part, pretty with a positive experience, hopefully ready to get to work, proud again of what they do. And sometimes you go through lulls, I think, where you're like, it's just another day in the grind. And then you meet people and you have fun and you do stuff after work with those people that you see all day. And you realize that, they're not just some annoying person from work. They're a good, good person, or maybe you don't, maybe you like them even worse. You're like, you don't like them at all, but, you get to know them a bit better. I think it actually does help workflow every once in a while to do things like that.
I would agree.
But yeah,
I mean, even
nothing but
even at my company, I work for a golf company. Just recently we did a team golf day. So, it's a great opportunity for us to get together. Like I see my team every morning at 9:30, which is great because we do a daily stand up and say, hey, this is what we're working on. Do you need me here? Do you need me here? It's a great way just to get the overall picture of how productive we're all going to be throughout the day. And whoever needs help, they can pull in and ask questions right away in the morning, and that's a great way to get team morale. But after a long period of time, I mean, especially since we're all working from home right now, it's nice to just get back together, especially when we can. Now that we're vaccinated, we can go golfing, we go inside and have dinner together, etc. That sort of thing. Seeing that in person like contact and talking to people, it's nice. It's nice to have that back.
Yeah, and obviously, still to like for what else it provides positivity for is just communication. I think because you get somebody and you're like, oh, after that talk I had in person, think of how different things would have been forever ago without even video chat. So it's like you can still communicate through video chat, but it's not the same as just, I guess talking shop, over dinner or whatever, just like, that kind of thing. So pretty cool. I survived without her, which I was thinking afterwards, like could be the last time I'm alone for a week for a very long time.
What'd you end up doing?
Just basically playing poker the whole time. Probably eating a little less healthy than I should.
I would probably be doing the same thing. Usually that comes with the whole I get the house by myself. I'm going to order food. Like that's usually I went a little bit harder playing poker because sometimes I just stop so that Jess and I can have the night together. So I was playing a little bit later one night in particular. But overall, like actually the week kind of flew by. She's only gone Monday to Friday, so she's back Friday night. Although I didn't see her until the next morning. She was just going to stay at her parents' house because they live 15 minutes from the airport and just stay there. And I actually went out bowling on Friday night, which I haven't done in a long time. Bowling. I think the last time I went bowling was with you years ago. So that's a long time. Yeah, I'm not a big bowler at all, but it's fun. I enjoy it when the friends get together.
Well, our group of friends actually used to go down the street from one buddy's house, and we would walk there in the snow to Aurora Bowl. And I remember not even playing and betting with another friend on like how many pins somebody would knock down in one, 2 turns or in a whole game. And I wouldn't even play. And now I love it.
That's awesome.
It was one of the things I was like getting more into is finding a couple of friends from just in the next town. We found this cheap bowling on like Monday nights where it was $4.50 for a full game or something. So, unless you commit to being really good at bowling, I don't think you can ever go. Like I can throw it straight down the middle, but there's too much luck involved to get 300. Like you actually have to put spin on the ball and curve it in, I think, to get 300. So I feel like I'm at the peak that I can be without, committing to.
It's funny that you say that too, because Nico, my son, he just got a new obsession with bowling. So it used to be about elevators, and he downloaded this bowling app game, very simple, flick the ball up to the pins, and he's just started watching these bowling YouTube videos. He like looks up bowling, and then when a guy gets a strike, he likes to see all the points and the number system and all of that. He just yells out strike or spare, or he goes gutter ball, and we're just watching. So he loves watching bowling on TV. We'll just pop up YouTube on TV and start watching bowling. That and Wheel of Fortune. He loves watching Wheel of Fortune.
Oh,
so my son is very obsessed with numbers. Anything that's number related. It's pretty cool.
Well, Wheel of Fortune too is like puzzle solving, right? Like quick time solving, you're on the fly to figure out what the word puzzle is.
Right. Again, my son's in junior kindergarten.
Yeah.
It's
probably crazy. Honestly, if he could explain 10-pin bowling to you in the score, your mind would be blown, because there's people I know that still don't know how it works. I basically explain it to them every time we bowl.
It's pretty crazy, man. So this past week for me, I was actually away the entire week off-site to one of our properties to do a project, which is why we didn't record an episode, but we were installing a brand new phone system, where this phone system was, the old one that was there was stuck in the 90s or / late 80s.
So this was your big project you were talking about a couple months ago, or like
that's right. So one of our properties is a resort property, and they have like a telephone system that's just so outdated. And Bell, the technician from Bell is like, listen, you got to upgrade your phone system. we don't have parts. They don't make parts for the system anymore. So you got to look into that. And they told us that back in 2006. And we were on parts and labor.
Ah, you guys held strong, eh?
Yeah, definitely held strong.
For a good 15
so anyways,
years.
I was up there for most of the week from Sunday to Thursday, which kind of sucked, man. Because actually, I used to do that a lot. Like I used to go away for a long period of time and work on a big project, particularly at this location. But it was a long time being away from my family. I was actually kind of getting antsy. But the video calls and the video chats helped a lot. Mainly for the fact that, you know, like I feel sorry for my wife. She's got a you know, solo parent, right? And that can be very difficult at times. But she did a great job, and he was well behaved, so made it a lot easier. But yeah, this project was probably the most difficult project I've ever done, in terms of network design and cabling and deployment. So I had to deploy like 3 virtual servers and run fiber cables and network switching and routing from our site to our corporate site and all that for the new telephone servers to communicate with the internet. And it was very difficult, but luckily I had someone with me. Originally I was going to do it all by myself until my boss is like, maybe you should have someone with you. And a part of me was like, you know what? I got this. I don't need anyone there. I'm pretty sure, you know, I can do this by myself. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? Let's bring someone up, because if I'm at one end of the building and I can get another guy at the other end of the building and we're testing links back and forth, I think that'd be ideal, right? Instead of me going back and forth physically between two different locations. And it worked out well. And just bringing that whole idea of bonding with your team back into this guy that I was with, my coworker, his name is Mike. Mike started working at the beginning of the pandemic. We hired him, and he started working remotely right away. And I haven't been able to bond with Mike a lot, other than, you know, our random golf games here and there. So you're missing that whole thing with your team. Like, you know, you're going out for a beer at the end of the week, or go for dinner, or you have lunch with a coworker where you talk about not only work but your personal life and all that. And it was great to talk with him and catch up with him and learn about him and teach him the ropes, essentially, because he has never been to this property before. It's very complicated. So it was nice to pass down knowledge, because I feel like, you know, as much as you excel in your career, it's also important to, when you get to a point where, you know, you just need to start passing down knowledge to the newer generation or the people that are starting in IT. So we were in a cabin together in this Muskoka property, and like he and I were just hitting it off. At the end of the day, it was a stressful day, you know, crack a few brews, start barbecuing, and we're just, you know, shooting the shit, man, just getting to know each other. And it's awesome. And he was asking me a bunch of questions about the setup, and I was able to teach him, and he learned new things. So it's a very positive experience all around. Now, one thing I did learn about Mike, which I did not like to hear at all, was that he's never seen John Wick before.
Ooh.
So one night we were like, you know, let's throw on a video on demand movie. We had permission to do so from our telephone manager. She's like, you know what, you can go ahead and just order whatever movies you guys want. So I'm scrolling through movies, and John Wick pops up, and I'm like, do you want to watch John Wick? Like, you've probably seen it before, but like, it's a great movie. I'm into an action movie right now. And he's like, I've never seen it before. I was like, well, we're watching that right now. you have no choice in the matter.
So I'll admit, I had never seen John Wick until very recently, and Jess and I watched all 3 of them, like in a span of.
Are you serious?
We
like
watched 2
recently
till maybe September. We did this, or I could even be October. So what's funny about that is Jess and I went to see Dune. This is what I was going to say to you before, but Jess and I went to see Dune on Monday night, and there was a trailer for the Matrix 4, like Matrix Resurrections, it's called. And I actually said to Jess, I'm like, wow, Keanu said more words in this trailer than the entirety of the John Wick franchise. But the trailer, I remember when it came out, and someone in our WhatsApp group sent it. I remember being like, I don't know, like, what are they doing starting this again? Obviously money, but like, it just, I didn't think it looked great. But Dune we saw in IMAX, and the trailer on IMAX looked
way better,
amazing. Right? It looked way better. So now I'm actually excited again. Where Jess doesn't really remember all the Matrix movies, so we're gonna run through those again, I guess, before. I think it comes out December 27th or something, like right after Christmas. So, anyways, how did Mike like?
He loved
John
it,
Wick?
man. He had a blast. Yeah. He's like, I can't wait to watch 2 and 3 now. And then it's my opinion.
Yeah, it's the same movie.
And it's my opinion. I said to him, it's my opinion, but I think 2 is better than 1, and 3 is better than 2. I think the third one is my favorite. But
I have to watch them again.
Anyways, that's my opinion. A lot of people might not agree with me. Actually, 2 is like unreal. Like when I watched the second one, I was like, wow, this got way better.
Well, because the ending of the third is insane. But even the lots of guns, it's literally the same as the Matrix.
No, it's a callback. Yeah, for sure. That was such a cheesy callback.
Like, it was, but it was clearly like that's what they were doing, right? Yeah, I guess because we watched them all so quickly in a row, they blend in. Like, I don't really think of necessarily like what happened in this one and this one, so I'd have to watch them again individually. But pretty.
But this past weekend was Halloween. Yeah,
right.
So Halloween was a great time, way better than last year, where they said don't go trick or treating. This Halloween.
Try to keep the virus in your own
house. This Halloween was amazing. So my son is 4.5, right at the prime age. He got super jacked, like super jacked. It got us so excited. Every single house he went to, he was just screaming up and down and just like bouncing off the walls. So he was dressed as Batman. I was dressed as a green crayon. And my wife was dressed up as a dragon woman. She had really cool makeup on.
Cool.
But he was going up to but he had the Batman costume with like the fake muscles, so that was hilarious with the cape, and he had the mask on. But he was going up to homes and he was ringing on the doorbells, and then as soon as they open it up, he goes, "Trick or treat, I'm Batman." I told him to say that, and it was with the voice. And I told him to say that, and he was awesome. Cracking everyone up. It was just like all these parents were just like dishing out the candy.
I'd be giving more candy to the kid.
One guy did, one guy gave him like 3 options. Like he's like, "You're take whatever you want."
Right on. That's
but
awesome.
it was fantastic. Our neighborhood. I mean, the weather was great, but our neighborhood was it's very highly condensed. It's a bunch of new families, and
you have a good neighborhood for trick-or-treating because you can hit so many houses in such a short time.
And a lot of the homes were like, the townhomes are like sliver townhomes, high density in Toronto, right? So you can just hit up a lot of stops. But like, it was so cool. And it was such a cool vibe to see all of these families and kids out again. It really gave me a nostalgic feeling of like being a kid again and going out and trick-or-treating. I was all hopped up on wine, which made it even... which made it even a lot more fun. Yeah, exactly.
Trick or treat.
I've seen a few husbands and wives carrying a Yeti mug with them as they're walking around.
And then you give them the cheers.
Yeah.
What was because you've actually, since I've known you, I've had some like pretty outrageous costumes. I don't think I've really dressed up at all since, I don't know, I was probably like 13 or 14, but what would you say like top 3 costumes you've ever been?
Number 1 would have been Mugatu from Zoolander.
Mugatu? I knew you.
That's like my favorite costume. I was like a fat hockey guy.
I remember that.
I was like a
puck.
Yeah, I was like a handsome devil at one time, but it kind of dwindled off in the Halloween costume. Actually, someone mentioned that I should have been Joker, and then my wife should have been Harley Quinn because Nico was Batman. So it was a missed opportunity there.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the trifecta costume.
So I think we might do that next year. Do like a cutesy little family trio costume thing. We'll figure it out.
Well, you could just whatever he wants to be. You guys just find something that matches, right? I think so. My aunt was like the queen of Halloween. Loved it. Favorite holiday for sure. She made costumes for me, my sister. I don't know how many people. She was amazing at it. She passed away maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And Halloween always makes me think of her. But she made me this Dr. Evil costume with it was amazing.
Do you have pictures?
And I used to shave my head. My mom or dad. I need you to find somewhere.
Listen, Jim's mom or dad, find the Dr. Evil costume picture, please, and thank you.
So and this thing was like, she made amazing costumes. I think I was that in late grade school, so elementary, so it would be grade 7, grade 8. And I was a ring wraith one time that, again, she made the costume. So like I had long, chain metal and like the black hood that came over the top.
That's so sick.
Yeah, because I was obsessed when Lord of the Rings, especially the first one came out.
That's so funny that you were obsessed with it, because I love that movie too. We never talked about it like during high school and stuff. That's interesting.
Well, I think at the time it's, they had sort of come and gone, and there was other stuff that comes out. Like it wasn't so it's like, oh, have you seen that? Actually, you know what? I watched the last one definitely came out in high school because I was friends with our friend Nelson, and he had never seen the movie before. And there's a part where the third one where it just fades to black, and the movie's not done. But Greg and I knew that, and we paused it at that time and told Nelson it was over. And we're like, let's just go outside in your backyard, man. It's a beautiful day. Because we watched it on I pressed pause on the PS4 or PS3 controller at the time, maybe even PS2. And he thought that's the way the movie ended for so long. Are you sick? Yeah. He probably would.
What happened when you broke it to him, or you broke it to him?
He's like, what? And he's like, I gotta go watch the end of this movie. But yeah, it's like, like you said, Halloween kind of brings up all those things, and definitely some good times.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is that obviously Terry and I, we wanted to bring him trick or treating and all that, so we couldn't dish out candy. So we decorated, and I
didn't even think of that.
I took him to the dollar store. I went ham on Halloween decorations. We did our whole patio up. It was like the best decorated patio that we have in our complex of in our building. But we had to put up bowls because we weren't home for trick or treating, right? So you take the please take one sign. No one's when you got these teenagers with their huge hands,
Yeah, just one.
Right? I felt bad when I got back and the bowl was empty, right? Like, what are you gonna do? You gotta trust them. You gotta trust them. I guess I'll buy more candy next year. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of did it the fairest way, because you and Terry both got to experience Nico going out. It's not fair that one of you sticks back and misses out on the experience.
Well, we both wanted to be there.
Just to give out candy to kids. Like, you still gave out candy, and you still.
It's the best compromise that we could come up with. Yeah,
for sure.
We also did our neighborhood puts together a pumpkin walk. So we're part of this Facebook group in our neighborhood. It's like the only reason why I still have Facebook, because it's nice to be informed.
Don't lie. Don't lie.
Amongst other things.
That's not the only reason I have Facebook. Yeah.
But like, there's this big pumpkin walk where our neighborhood did like 70 pumpkins in our local park. And they're all lit up, all decorated. So that was really cool. Another local, like, neighborhood type of experience. That's nice to have. But one guy, he won the contest. It was a contest, like top 3 pumpkins or whatever that were voted on Facebook. The number 1 was like Venom. It was really really well done. I forget what number 2. Number 2 was Mario and Luigi. I forget what number 3 is, but number 1 was Venom. It looked so cool. It looked really awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then today, I pick up Nico from school, and he is having a great time. I think he's really gotten into school a lot more than when
he's into the rhythm now.
We start walking away from the school, and like 6 kids said, "Bye, Nico," and he's like shouting out names, "Bye, Eli," and "Bye, Mark," and whatever. Like, just
he's
so
the man,
he's
right?
obviously,
paying tribute to.
So he's obviously making friends at school, which is so cool to see as a parent, because you start to worry about that sort of stuff. Like,
absolutely, it's got to be like a proud moment, but like a relief that he's enjoying his time and not hating it every day.
Yeah. And he's I bring him home, and the teacher puts his schoolwork into his backpack, so we overlook his schoolwork all the time. And he's
how does he have schoolwork? He's 4 years old.
They're doing handwriting, right? They're learning.
Does he for what?
To write. What do you mean for what?
Oh, you don't mean
no?
cursive.
Sorry,
yeah,
printing.
Okay.
But they're doing for what? That's funny. My dad said the same thing. He's like, he's learning cursive.
Yeah, just the way you said it. And I realize he's 4, so it kind of makes sense that it would just be like printing.
I'll teach him cursive though. I even though it's going out of the way of the dodo, but it's good. It's good to know, like, to recognize it. I don't know. See, it's easy to teach. But yeah, so we're overlooking his work, and his printing has gotten a lot better since the first couple of weeks, and we can.
Did you switch his pencil grip?
Yeah, that's probably. But the teachers, whatever she's doing, is doing an amazing job with the pen holding. I guess, I don't know. I can see it in his name. He's writing his name properly in smaller letters and closer together, and it's so cool.
You're gonna have tons of stuff to put on the fridge in like 2 months from now. Like by Christmas time.
So I've already got the binder going.
No, that's even better. He puts a couple on the fridge.
So what we're doing is we got a whole system. We have the week's work up on the fridge. Then Sunday we put everything in the binder for a fresh week. Yeah.
Fresh week.
But nice. Yeah, so one of the work that he did was cutting and pasting, right? So just, again, getting used to the scissors, getting used to a glue stick, and cutting and pasting numbers in order. So he did 11 to 20 today. And at the bottom of the paper, the teacher wrote, "I know Nico knows his numbers. This is just practice for cutting and pasting."
Yeah, I had it. Yeah.
So
that's actually
that's it was so
cool
funny.
Too, right?
Just her saying, "I know Nico knows his numbers." Like I know your kid knows that. So that was really cool. I was really proud of him. Obviously, I was like, "Let's go pick candy from your Halloween bag."
Yeah. What's left that your mother and I didn't finish.
It's been pretty bad.
Do you have? So I noticed, because you were gone, and then now with the candy, how's your workouts? Like, what's your plan for getting back on track?
So
with
it's not back 100% as much as I would want it to, mainly because I've been dealing with this whole Rocky Crust, this whole phone project.
Yeah.
So I need to refocus a little bit more on that and give myself time to do that. Also, like I said in the other episode, I like to play Quake Live. I'm a big Quake player. I've gotten very good at the game. I've been making people upset, and I've noticed today that my eyes are starting to hurt. So
yeah, well, you've probably needed blue light glasses or something for years with the amount of time.
I'm like,
Jess has a pair. I think she wears them, but she literally only wears them just for the computer.
Yeah, I should. That's a good idea. Actually, I have a blue light filter app on my computer. I should turn that on while I play.
Of course.
But anyways, I play the game regardless. I play the game way too much. I'm getting too good at it, at the point where like I'm getting headaches and I'm getting eye strains because of it. But I play it after work, and I play it for like an hour and a half. So like I'm talking 5 to 6:30, and all that time could be spent doing better things, right? Working out, studying, etc. It's just my end of day wind down. So I need to start taking breaks, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, if you can cut that out, I mean, even if you only did it for 45 minutes, like you could do a walk for 45 minutes is better, or whatever, right? Something to get the blood going, 100%. Or just like especially fresh air, like that's what we were talking about last, with depression and how to get out of it is just kind of, fitness and goals, and hitting that as such a positive effect.
You're
on
absolutely
your body.
right. And another thing that I noticed today, like it was literally today that I noticed that I'm physically getting hurt by doing something that I shouldn't be doing to my eyes. Right. So that's like another like realization, like, hey man, tone it down a bit. You don't need to play a game after work for an hour and a half, and you could be doing way better things for your body. Right. So yeah, just trying to steer the ship a little bit better.
For this month, I've actually started off so far 3 for 3. I mean, it's only been 3 days, but and I'm my app finished where it was. So I still have I have this fitness app called Freeletics for anybody who's new. I use it basically to it creates a workout for me, and I just follow along. And a lot of it is timing. So, it does sets. It also does a warm up, then a couple of, interval training, and then a cool down where it does stretches and that kind of thing. So anyways, I guess I must have finished, it goes in stretches of like 48 workouts. So I must have just finished it, and I started this week. And maybe because I finished it, this one's like a lot more intense. So already this week it's beaten me up. So I was doing these like single leg hip flexes or something. So you lie on your back, but one leg kind of crouched, and then the other leg you put up outstretched, and you just lift yourself up just with the one leg. So I was doing, the average thing would be 7 or 10 of them. And I would do that, for 5 rounds, mixed in with other different sort of exercises. And on Monday, it started me doing 20 per round. So I did 100, and normally I do 35 or 50. So it was it's a big jump. Yesterday's was pretty nuts too. And
it's so cool though to see that type of like progression, and I'm so happy that you're keeping up with it, man. You're definitely inspiring me. I again, like I said last year, I feel like I was really on top of it. Not so much this year. I really kind of dwindled, which I don't like. Right, like I want to get back to where I was.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is one of my golf games. Sorry to steer your story a bit, but one of our golf games that we did, we had to wear like either golf pants or golf shorts or whatever. My golf pants didn't fit me anymore, and I was like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah,
I got nothing. And luckily I had golf shorts that fit me still, but it was the weather was starting to get colder, and I was like, all right, I'll just deal with it. Wear a sweater. Yeah,
tough it out.
Anyway.
Yeah, see, I mean, well, that's the thing. And so I was going to say is, maybe you would do this, maybe you wouldn't, maybe subconsciously you do it. You'd be like, you know what, next year is going to be different. I'm going to try harder. But you still have 2 months. So don't let those go to waste just because you think like, I'm going to be better next year. Like you can start being better now, even if it's bit by bit to hit the ground running. But this is what I wanted. So this was my workout yesterday. So it was, you have to do this as fast as you can. So it's 10 jumping jacks, 20 squats, then 20 jumping jacks, 40 squats, 40 jumping jacks, 20 squats, and then 20 jumping jacks, 10 squats. And then you do that again. Wow. So my best time before yesterday was 11. It doesn't say my old time anymore. I think it was like 11 minutes and 10 seconds. And yesterday I got 10:32. So I beat it by almost 40 seconds, which is pretty cool. So it actually shows you like how far ahead or how far behind you are. And I'll admit, like when you get to the 40 squats, it just kills you. But I think the main thing is just being able to breathe better. I think like I'm just in much better shape with my lungs. Like that's why I would have beaten that by 40 seconds. I don't think my legs are, very much stronger. Clearly they would be a little bit, but I think it's more being able to just push through rather than have to stop. Because you can stop whenever you want, right? You just like, as soon as you, the way that the app works is like, if I'm on the 40 crunches, it just stays there until you do it. And then you select done and it switches to the next exercise. So it could stay there for
Right.
10 minutes. It's just like, you got to beat your personal best. And yeah, so it's like the thing is, like, when you fall behind pace, it's in red, and I just don't like seeing it mentally. So it's nice. It's a nice blue color when you're ahead of the game. So it's pretty good. I literally just came down seconds after I was done, tried to ask me something, and I was just like, like just so out of breath. My face is like redder than a tomato.
I remember not being able to do like, my heaviest, like 20, 25 jumping jacks. And at my peak, I was able to crush like 100, 120 jumping jacks. No problem.
Right. So like, this is kind of what it's cool for, because you don't really do them all in a row, right? Like, overall, I did 210 jumping jacks and 180 squats, but it wasn't like do 180 squats in a row. It's more, the jumping jacks are actually where I could like kind of focus on my breathing and get it back. And then the squats are harder. Plus, I find like I struggle with rhythm. So if I'm doing a jumping jack, I'm trying to like on breathe in and out on every 2 jumps or every 3 jumps. Otherwise, I throw off my timing and I don't have someone to count for me. So I don't know where I'm at. And I don't want to cheat because I'm only cheating myself.
Attaboy, man. Good for you, dude.
So anyways,
that's awesome.
Well, what's the point, right? Like, why bother? I crushed my personal best by 6 minutes this time. Like, okay. And plus, not to mention, I got to beat that next time.
Well, just good for you for keeping up with the app and 3 for 3, like you said, in the month. That's awesome. And definitely take your tips to heart, man. Like I got that realization today too, man. When I spent all that time playing this game, I was like, I could have been, doing other things and prep dinner, and I've already could have had that done, but now I got to do all those things, right? So, yeah.
So I did want to say on that, so far it is so good, but on Saturday I'm leaving for Las Vegas for a week. So, so I'm going to Vegas, which means that unfortunately we won't be able to record again.
Another week gone.
But we'll get you on the way back. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think the last time I left the country would have been after my honeymoon. I had to do some work in the United States, but I didn't fly anywhere. I just like drove to the state of New York and drove to like Albany or Syracuse or something. But I'm like super pumped. It's pretty exciting. Like
that's awesome, man.
I can't wait. I'm going down. There's a small poker series that I think I have a sheet over here. I don't know how many events I'm planning on playing. A decent amount at least. But
are you going down for poker? Yeah, that's awesome.
Down for poker. The main event of this thing is on Tuesday. If I end up losing the tournament moderately early, the Seattle Kraken are in town to play the Knights, and hopefully there's tickets left because the Knights games are unreal down there. They're so much fun. I have a bunch of friends I haven't seen now in over 2 years as well. So, hopefully we can meet up and do top golf or something, whatever's open. So I don't know how the workouts are going to go. The only thing is, I will actually probably get a decent amount of walking in, because once you're on the strip, it's just, you walk everywhere for the most part. So it could be like, could be walking 10 kilometers a day or something.
Yeah, I remember when we went to Vegas, at least walking was just brutal. Like, are you guys told me bring?
Well, it's not going to be as hot.
Bring
as
good
when
shoes,
we
and you're absolutely right, man. A lot of walking when you go to Vegas.
Actually, if I said that, I'm proud of myself. It's not normally the advice I'd give.
I don't think it was you. Vegas. Someone else told me that.
That's okay. That makes more sense.
All right.
But that's all.
All right. Well, we'll wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. This has been episode 37 of Crushing Through Life. If you enjoy our show and would if you enjoy our show and you would like to follow us for more, check us out at linktree.com/crushing through life. That is linktree.com/crushing through life. Bye.
Bye.